Happy Thursday, Facebook friends. Welcome back to Facebook. I'm Angie Garza, Director of Professional Learning and Educational Services at ROE47, serving Lee, Ogle, and Whiteside counties. And if you're joining us here this fine Thursday morning on Facebook, you'll know that it is time for another edition of Teacher Talk. And this is not just any ordinary edition of Teacher Talk. We have some special guests, some new features, and we are kicking off the 2023-24 school year with great gusto here at ROE47. And to do that, I think, Stacy, we were talking about this season 4 years of bringing Teacher Talk and special guests and our message and information to all of our community members here in Lee, Ogle, and Whiteside counties. So Stacy Dingus, our digital teaching and learning specialist, and my friend, colleague, and co-host, good morning. Happy start to the 23-24 school year.
Good morning, Angie. Happy to be here. As we start a new school year, as you had mentioned, there's a lot that has been going on within our office. We have a new office, a new location, which I'm sure we'll be talking about later, but new programming, new faces, new services that we are offering to our families, to our parents, to our students, to our educators. So only appropriate that we start this new season of a Teacher Talk off with talking about some programming that's being offered not only in our region, but in the state. So excited to get this one going today, Angie.
Stacy, we are starting, you're right, we're starting this morning to having conversations about our littlest learners. So we're really kind of focusing our conversations on early childhood this morning. So for our viewers who are not aware, when we are talking about early childhood, we're thinking about the ages of 0 to 8 here in the state of Illinois and how we are meeting those needs, because we know, and we've had many conversations about this in our very own office and as a community at large, that early childhood conversations don't just impact our school communities. They impact our workforce. They impact just the overall health and vitality of our communities. And early childhood is a conversation that is very prevention focused in nature. So the sooner that we can get families and children connected to services and supports and learning opportunities, all the better for all members of our community. And so over the last couple of years, we've been having some really important conversations, not only as a state, as you mentioned, Stacy, but also more intently as a region through efforts through our Early Childhood Stars Coalition and our Birth to 5 Action Council. So this morning, as we start off our Teacher Talk this morning, I wanted to take just a moment to introduce our two very special guest experts in the area of early childhood. From our own ROE47, we have Lois Meisenheimer, who runs our Stars Coalition and also directs our Parents as Teachers program. And we also have with us this morning, Abby Hoskins from Birth to 5. Good morning, ladies. As we start off this morning, would you mind introducing yourselves to our Facebook community?
Good morning. I'm Lois Meisenheimer with the Parents as Teachers First Years program, and I also lead the Early Childhood Stars Coalition. Glad to be here. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Abby Hoskins. I'm the Regional Council Manager for Birth to 5 Illinois Region 47, which covers Lee, Ogle, and Whiteside counties.
Ladies, thank you so much for being here this morning for this important and exciting conversation. I'm really proud to say that our region has done considerable work in the area of early childhood, and not just working with our teachers and administrators, but really taking the time to listen to parent and community voices, as well as engaging businesses and economic development organizations, chambers of commerce. So as we start our conversation this morning, I have here in front of me a beautiful report that has just been published by our Birth to 5 Action Council. And it kind of tells the story of early childhood in our community. And there are many communities, actually, in fact, across the state who have engaged in similar conversations. So as we wrap our brain around early childhood in the state of Illinois, Abby, can you tell us a little bit more about what early childhood looks like in Illinois, and, really kind of thinking about maybe from a statewide perspective, what are those challenges? What are those barriers? What are those successes? And most importantly, what are the needs that you're seeing right now?
Yeah, thank you. We're very excited about the release of the Early Childhood Regional Needs Assessment and excited to get it out into the community. Illinois has made significant efforts to prioritize early childhood education and care and has implemented various programs and initiatives to support the growth and development of young children throughout the state and in our region. While these efforts are great steps towards improving early childhood, we still have a long way to go. The goal is for equitable access to inclusive, high quality early childhood services for all children and families in the state of Illinois. And in our region specifically, we have over 2,000 children ages 0 to 5 that cannot be served in a publicly funded early childhood education or care slot. And then that also impacts early childhood childcare as well. So locally, we've been doing a lot of work, as Angie just talked about, to make these efforts. Over the last year, our community has continued to work to bring multiple stakeholders together, caregivers together to address the needs and challenges in our community throughout both the STARS Coalition and the Birth to Five Illinois Action and Family Councils. Our councils had representation from multiple community stakeholders, such as the Regional Office of Education, Head Start, Preschool for All, school districts, the Child Care Resource and Referral Agency, child care providers, both home and center-based, home visiting programs, the Chamber of Commerce, healthcare, and most importantly, local parents. So using a collective impact model, we led the councils through data discussions to identify gaps. This was done coincidentally with the Sauk Valley STARS Coalition to look at the needs of children and families. We coordinated focus groups, interviews, and surveys to gather input from the community members across the entire region, all three counties, Lee, Ogle, and Whiteside. So together we created that beautiful report that Angie just held up, the Early Childhood Regional Needs Assessment. And in this report, the community not only identified the most common early childhood needs in our community, but also made recommendations for how we meet them. We're currently working to share this report with caregivers, community stakeholders, and elected officials throughout local events, meetings, community listening sessions. And while sharing this report, we hope to gather even more feedback from the community.
You know, we have heard a lot about needs, what our families need, what our community needs. Lois, it's been a few years since I have lived in the early childhood realm, sadly. My kids are are grown now. But, when we talk about these needs, what does our community need? Can you tell us a little bit about maybe the needs, some of the successes, the programming, the barriers that faced our Lee, Ogle, Whiteside area?
Sure. Through our work over the last 2 years, and specifically more recently, the last year with the Birth to Five Action Council, we have highlighted that there definitely is a need for more slots for children in early childhood, whether that's birth to 3, home visiting, whether it's preschool for 3 to 5. There just are not enough slots. It also is childcare in our region. We have areas that are childcare deserts. Families have to drive across county lines to get childcare for their children. And so that was definitely highlighted through the data we collected from reports from parents. And so that's something that we are working on addressing through our work with helping to identify new providers that might be interested in expanding their slots, or opening even just brand new centers. Or the other thing that we are really hearing from parents is that they need full day programming and wraparound care. So full day programming, it's hard for working parents to take their child to a 2.5 hour pre-case site and then try and get them back to daycare in the middle of the day. So they are really wanting more of a full day experience. Wraparound before and after school. So even if the preschool program would be like a 5-hour class, then maybe there is before and after childcare at the same location. Or there's some transportation to the childcare outside of parents transporting. That's another issue that has been highlighted a lot. The lack of transportation, and parents are having to leave work, try and piece together transportation to get their children to daycare or to preschool. The other thing I think mentioned, in passing is the distance between where parents work sometimes and where their childcare or their preschools are. And so that's a challenge that they are struggling to address. And sometimes then children just aren't able to access preschool slots because they are not where they need them to be. So those are some of the things that we have been working on. Some of the things that we've had success with over the last few years. We had heard from families that they wanted more family engagement activities. So the ROE has hired a family engagement specialist who has been working in the community, doing more family engagement events. You have seen her probably pop up at community events with the giant Connect Four or the bubbles or, various things such as that. Our Grace has been working with the family engagement person at Birth to Five, Region 47, Stephanie. And so there's been some coordination there with their events as well. So, the more people, we can have stronger and bigger events and less duplication. So we're working on that. Parents had expressed they wanted more modern marketing materials, more availability of information. So we have been working on that. If you have not seen our marketing materials for early childhood, let us know because we can get you stacks of marketing materials. And they are available in English and Spanish. So easy to read for multiple audiences. We have had some success regionally with programs that had applied for additional slots for preschool that then this last year received those slots. So I think there were 3 or maybe 4 new classrooms that opened in which increased 3 to 5 slots in the region. And just really more community awareness in general. I think the broader community has really tuned into how the early childhood issues are impacting things such as workforce. The other thing that we've been working on is addressing the teacher shortage. And that's something that's been worked on at the state level with the it's the ECACE grant, Early Childhood Access. I'm not exactly sure what the acronym stands for, but the goal is to get incumbent workforce, the teachers that are in the field that are not quite yet qualified, like such as, assistant teachers or aides, get them qualified to be teachers while working in the field. So they can access the scholarship and it will help pay for the majority of the education that's needed to get up to the bachelor's degree to be certified as a teacher. We at the ROE have recently added gateway certification so that we can offer trainings that help so specifically in childcare, but there are other cohorts too that you need or gateway certificates hours to get qualified to teach as well. So that's another, like an alternate pathway to licensure. So we are working on offering some of those things and collaborating with SALK and 4Cs, which is the Child Care Resource and Referral System, to provide education locally that people that are working in the region can access without leaving the region. So that's just a few of the things that we are working on in our area.
Lois, you have been busy for sure. It's great to hear that we are listening to what our community is saying, what our families are saying, and really trying to meet those needs. So bravo to everybody involved in that work. Abby, can you tell us what some next steps are for the Action Council? What does the future look like?
Yeah, we're very excited about the next steps. So we spent this last year really working to develop that report. And our next steps is for the Action and Family Councils to develop an implementation plan that will allow council members to build on the recommendations made in the regional needs assessment. This plan will lay out how the region can use available resources to move forward with the needs that were prioritized. In addition, this plan will continue the conversation regarding what supports needed from the state to meet those local needs. We'll continue to work with our community to grow this already strong collaboration. We know there's other voices we can include. We also talked a lot about those early childhood adjacent things that parents are facing in their families, such as mental health. So expanding on that. We're also, as I said earlier, working to get the report into the community and collect additional feedback. So we'll also be compiling that to see what changes or maybe missing pieces we've had over the next year.
All right, ladies, this has been great information, but if I'm listening to this as a community member, I'm getting excited. I'm asking questions. I'm wanting to know more. So I'm going to ask both of you the same question, maybe from a little bit of a different lens. But Abby, when you think about the next steps for the Action Council, if I'm a community member, a parent, a general layperson, how do I get involved with those conversations?
Yeah, there's many ways for both community stakeholders and caregivers and parents to be involved. You can visit our website at www.birth-to-5il.com/region 47, where you can learn more about our Action and Family Councils. You can access the full early childhood regional needs assessment through this website. You can subscribe to our monthly newsletter, or you can join the Birth to 5 Illinois Region 47 Facebook group. We're always working to connect with the community, and we would love to meet in person with you or virtually, whatever your preference is, to share more about the work and learn more about your work or your experiences as a parent or a caregiver. You can contact us through the website, or you can email me. It's A Hoskins, so AHOSKINS at birth-to-5il.com, and the 5 is spelled out, FIVE. And lastly, we welcome you to join our combined Sauk Valley Stars and Birth to 5 Illinois Action Council meetings that take place on the second Tuesday of the month at 9 a.m. and they are held on Zoom.
Great information, Abby. Thank you so much. I'm going to flip that question now over to Lois. Lois, you mentioned all of the wonderful things, not only just from an Action Council perspective, but from a coalition perspective and just from our regional offices perspective. Lots of things that parents can get involved with, from screenings to family education and engagement events. Tell us a little bit more about how our parents can become involved with some of these wonderful opportunities that our office and the STARS Coalition is taking part in.
Sure. So you are all parents and community members are always welcome, as Abby mentioned, to join the STARS Coalition second Tuesday, of the month. You can email me also at the ROE. It's L Meisenheimer, which is LMEISENHEIMER at ROE47.org, or call the ROE. You can look at our website, ROE47.org, and find more information on our STARS page there. And I think my contact information is also on that page. Also, be on the lookout for community events that Grace is advertising. She also has a family newsletter that she has out. I think Angie may have the contact information about how to get on that email list, but anyone can get that and distribute it to friends and family, attend community events. Generally, they are free. So you are welcome to participate in any of those.
Lois, thank you so much for all that information. We will make sure that we include all contact information on the post right here on Facebook. So if you are watching this video and would like that contact information, pop back up to the narrative that goes along with the post, as well as any of the comments. Ladies, thank you so much for taking time out of this is a busy time of year. We're getting the school year going in our school communities and with our other service agencies. So appreciate you always taking time out to chat with us here this morning on Teacher Talk. As we close out our Teacher Talk this morning, I should have done this actually at the beginning of our Teacher Talk, because there are some fairly stark statistics. So as we wrap up our Teacher Talk this morning, I do want to remind all of our listeners out there of what we're facing in terms of early childhood in Lee, Ogle, and Whiteside counties. So as was mentioned previously, we have 8,878 children under the age of 6 in the ROE47 service area. That's Lee, Ogle, and Whiteside counties. 3,455 children ages 0 to 5 are at 200% of the federal poverty level. And of that 8,878 students, 2,168 children ages 0 through 5 are without publicly funded early childhood education slots. And so just as a reminder, what that means is that of the children who do have slots, we are not eliminating some of those barriers such as wraparound services and so forth that were mentioned previously. So this is a major conversation, not only in our region, but across the state of Illinois, certainly a very important one, and impacts every aspect of our community. So we would encourage you to access the Early Childhood Regional Needs Assessment, as well as all of the other information that was shared earlier, to get engaged, to get plugged into this important conversation. As we wrap up our Teacher Talk this morning, just want to say thank you and welcome everyone to the 2023-24 school year. We are looking forward to great conversations this year and this season on Teacher Talk. So be sure to stay tuned every Thursday throughout the year for more important information, conversations, and updates. And as always, please make sure to like and follow our ROE47 Facebook page. On behalf of my friend, colleague, and co-host, Ms. Stacy Dingus, and our special guests this morning, Lois Meisenheimer and Abby Hoskins, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day today. Enjoy a beautiful, restful, and relaxing weekend, and we will see you right back here next Thursday for another edition of Teacher Talk.